come on, can you use it a second? Okay, so just hold your arms out for me. Okay, so Joe doesn't come up because he's running a little lad. Okay, so nice big strong lad. Guys, just want you to stop me from pushing the arms down. I think we've done this, haven't we? Some of you that train with me have probably seen this before. So if I took my weight, I can struggle to do it, okay? Physics will say generally I'll be able to do it. You know, I weigh 9 stone, his arms aren't quite as strong as me, I hope. Yeah, I'll be able to push his arms down. From a grappling scenario and from some of the techniques that we do, so get something from pushing his arm down. Again. Suck it round. I'll put some effort into it. Okay.
All the shoulders.
You didn't have a minute ago, it's on the both. Okay, so the principle, so just use your thing. The same thing again. So again, I'm using my tank because I have Thai boxing background and I know he's quite a big lad. Can you stop from pushing down? Really strong arms. Okay, so again, stop from pushing this one down. Okay, it's not because I'm putting, we saw how much weight I was putting on it, and now I'm just, reason being is, as soon as you have 2 hands on one side of the head, the brain can't cope with which hand's which. It's kind of like when you do that and say, okay, move your little finger on your left hand, and you're like, well, that one's on the left, but yeah, you really struggle to do it. It's exactly the same principle. Even if you can think about it for a little while, you'll build up slightly more resistance, but you'll still be weaker. So in a fighting scenario or a grappling scenario, if you can get someone to reach over so they've got 2 hands on one side of their head, so you know, you kind of grappling scenario, so you're on one side, there's a good chance he's going to try and reach over. When he does that, his arms are going to be weaker. So that will then allow you to apply some of these techniques. So that's where it starts to come into its own way. If you're struggling with, hang on a minute, if I move across and he wants to try and reach across, it's going to weaken that arm and allow you to do the technique with a bit more ease. So it's not an exact science, but it's just something, right, if I want to draw that hand across or draw that hand across, it will help you when you're trying to apply these techniques. It also works in the same scenario. If I weaken this arm in one way or another, it will weaken that leg. Yeah, so if I attack his right arm, it will weaken his left leg. If I attack his left leg, it will weaken his right arm. Okay, so this is worth knowing, not necessarily in stand-up fighting, but it can be effective, you know, if you're giving someone a kick inside thigh kick. It's going to weaken, you know, if you know that someone's right hand leads with their left leg, which is generally what happens, kick them in the leading leg and it will weaken their punch. If you can hit pressure points specifically, even more so.
The space.
Yeah, so from a Thai boxing point of view, we do lots of inside thigh kicks or low kicks. Yeah? So when we're doing that, again, if, like we just said, if most people will lead with their left, so they've got a powerful punch off their right, if I can kick, sorry, very nice you change this side just because I can't kick with my other leg, I can't stand on this leg. Yeah. I'm going to kick here, and it's going to weaken this arm. So if you continue to carry on doing that, kicking for these pressure points on the inside of the leg, on the outside of the leg, even if you don't hit the pressure point, it's still going to weaken that arm. So these are things that we use in grappling quite a regular basis. So what we're going to utilise now is we start going to pressure points. I know we've touched upon a few pressure points so far. I just want you to get used to finding out where they are. So pressure points we're going to work with are basically just going to be on the arms. Okay. The reason we're working with the arm pressure points is they're probably the easiest ones to get to start with. They're the ones that will do the least damage. If you start working on pressure points in the core of the body, on the head or on the spine, it will do a lot more damage to the organs that they relate to. Okay, so what I want you to do is just get used to finding out where they are to start with. We're going to start with lung and heart pressure points, which run on the outside of the arm. So
is it the same on both arms?
It is the same on both arms. Cool. What I don't want you to do is work on both arms. So I want you to work on one side. Okay? I'll explain why a bit more about that in a second. It's okay for once or twice, but not continuously. Don't think, all right, I've worn that arm out, let's go on to this one, because it will do damage to the organs that it relates to. What we're going to work with is add to the techniques we've already done, utilising the pressure points here. So we're going to start off with lung pressure points. So we're just going to press down here. Okay, that's an involuntary response. He's not doing that because he wants to make me look good. However, he probably does. Right, so, literally, just work on each other's arms. You can't do it on your own. If you try and push your own pressure points, you've got a self-preservation mechanism which kind of won't allow you to... Yeah. Okay, so you do need to do pair work. You do get different reactions from different people. Some people don't react that much to them. Lyndon's an exception. Lyndon won't react to any pressure points because of his lack of sensitivity of his nervous system. Which is some lack of sensitivity, I'm sorry. Okay, however, usually if one pressure point doesn't work on the average person, the next one up will hurt more.
Yeah.
This one didn't work very well, so the next one up, I'm going to go for the outside of the arm here. Mouse control. Okay, so just going to press down. Okay. 3 pressure points that we're going to work with. 1, 2, another one on the inside of the arm. It's on the breaker, which works on the small intestine. So all we're going to do is just press here. You can see the reactions of each of the pressure points. Okay, so what I want you to do is just see if we can find them. Okay, so pair up with your partner, stick to one hand, and just see if you can work your way those 3 points. Now, one of the things that's important with the pressure points, it's not just where they are, it's also the angle that you press at. Okay, so I can hit this pressure point. I'm not doing it because I'm pressing it at that angle. If I just press in and down this way, that's a totally different response. Okay, same up here. If I press that way, slightly uncomfortable. If I press that way, it'll make him drop. So, changing the angles of where you do it. Here it's going to be in and down. Here it's going to be in and down this way. Here it's going to be up and across. Yeah? So just want you to play around with them. See if you can find a pressure point, then try it at different angles. Try it that way, try it that way. Yeah? If you're struggling to find pressure points, I know we discussed this earlier to some of the guys, if you can't find it exactly, use all of your fingers. You think, right, it's roughly around here somewhere.
Show where it is. Kidneys and liver.
Show him.
It's roughly here, and I think, right, if I just squeeze with all and then drag, yeah, you should get it. Well, if you can't, if you're not, is that it? Have I got it? Yeah, you can see how painful they are. So be careful with them, but play, have a little bit of fun. If I were to be really sort of nasty and do this first, and then, yeah, you start to string them together, you get what's called convergence. So you hit one pressure point, it becomes uncomfortable. It does a little bit of damage to the arm, does minor damage to the organ. Hit 2 pressure points right into the same organ, you can usually knock someone out. Certainly be able to pretty much stop and throw, split second. Hit 3 pressure points, you can usually knock them out. 4 pressure points, you'll stop the organ from working, with 4 resuscitation being possible. 5 pressure points in the space of a couple of seconds right into the same organ, you will stop that organ from working totally.
So this gentleman here who can't, if you still hit 2 or 3 pressure points, will that still knock him out even though he can't?
They will still have an effect on the organ.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
He may stand there and say, it didn't hurt. He will still be dead. And the point is, with the pressure points, they're not always immediate, and they're not always obvious. I mean, people have seen perhaps films like Kill Bill, 5-finger exploding heart technique. Okay. Now, they're not quite as real as that, but you can have techniques that will stop the heart. It won't do, right, I get 5 steps away and turn around and his heart will explode. It doesn't work like that. However, if I was to do pressure points that relate to his liver, he's not going to die instantly, but you'll stop the liver from working. It will have an effect on it. You can have an effect on the lungs, which will cause breathing problems. Get fluid into the lungs, get not enough air into the lungs, so they're not expanding properly. So there's lots of little things like this that you do have to be careful where you teach them, who you teach them to. And one of the other key things is make sure if ever you are practicing them, you're practicing them with someone else that knows what they're doing and also knows how to resuscitate. Okay, I'm here, so that's right. I think you know them too. degree. I'm sure. I might see if I can revive someone after 4 pressure points. But yeah, so I just want you to play around with the ones on the arms for the time being, those 3 specifically. Okay, so give that a try.